Cowboy.
Yes.
Hey, Cowboy. My name's Jason Van Titnov. I had left you a Facebook message, and you gave me a call back a couple days ago.
Are you the guy from Montana?
I am.
I want to know, are you affiliated in any form, fashion, or way with veterans on parole that were at a CMAX?
No. As a matter of fact, I was down there. I just went down there to check the story. So here's my story. I'm a first responder. I work for the ambulance team, search and rescue up here, and then wildland fires. I'm a fire line medic, but I do write on the side. Now, I used to be involved with a group called the Oath Keepers. I quit with them about 2 years ago, just because they didn't quite, there were some things they were doing I just did not agree with. So I just do my own thing now. And, you know, when this story first hit, there were some things that just didn't seem right with it. So I went down there, and I was down there last week for about 4 days. Spent some time with Arthur Lewis. And then just getting the police reports and everything else. And it just seems like some things don't make sense to me with Arthur Lewis's story. And
right. Well, the thing is, I lived in that desert 23 years. And then my lawyer lady friend gave me a $15,000 RV to get me off the streets.
And that's what I gathered from your Facebook page.
Right. And the thing is, I know everybody and anybody that's out there, and I have all their telephone numbers also.
Okay. Well,
and the thing is that the camp under the big tree in the wash used to be my camp. I gave it to a friend of mine, him and his girlfriend, and they trashed it out. I have pictures of that when I lived down there. It was always kept clean. I had a little fire pit right there, which they fell over and knocked it all around. But I used to burn my garbage there and haul my tin cans and everything out of there and throw them in the dumpster. So the way that camp looks now, I was appalled to see it. I went down there to look at it, and I was just really, really embarrassed that somebody would, you know, trash it out like that and not care about keeping a clean camp. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's obvious from the Facebook posts, because I went back through your history, and it did look like a clean campsite. It looked like you were taking care of it.
Right.
So do you mind?
Then all the officers out there, Robert Martinez, Officer Sylvia, and all of them that worked at all the way to the Laos, all the way up to the casino, all the police officers know me, and I have a good rapport with them. And they said that I was allowed to go back down there and stay if I wanted.
And you then brought the police in when you guys rescued a horse, it looked like.
Yes, there was a horse. My girlfriend had to go on an appointment, and she yelled at me, "Cowboy, there's a horse out here hurt." And the horse it looked like it got hit by a car or something. It was about 17 hands high, a huge horse.
Wow.
And I got it, and then I called the Tucson Police Department. Robert come out there, and I told him, "Hold the horse. I have to go to the bathroom." So I went up to the admissions there, and Tammy up there, I know her, and I told her what was going on. They brought water, and then they went to Tractors Plus right by the 99-cent store, and they donated a 100-pound bag of grain, and then they said, "Well, we have to make a report. You got to give the horse a name." So I called it Tucson's Finest.
Right on. Well, I mean, that just goes to back up that if there's anything nefarious going on, the last thing you guys would do is call the police down there.
Well, no, I've had the police down there before, you know, sometimes them kids would leave the neighborhood over there and go under the highway there where the tunnel is, and then write graffiti and all that. And then they set a friend's camp of ours on fire. You know where the cement plant is?
Right.
Well, if you go towards, like you're going to Nogales, there's another camp back there. I'd say about 3 months ago, them kids set it on fire and all that. Yeah, it was before Thanksgiving, and set it on fire and everything. And I mean, it was burning real bad. It come almost to where I was staying.
And you called the authorities to get that taken care of, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I made a call that there was a fire, and the next thing I know, they had the volunteer firefighters for, you know, fires that get out of control. They had the helicopters out there, and they had a bunch of volunteer firefighters out there, and I mean, it was horrible.
Right.
But like I said, if you need me to text you names and phone numbers to everybody around there, like if you go up the wash, there's another camp under the tree over there by the college in the wash. That's Dan, Terry, and PJ that live there. You come back up the wash, like going towards Valencia, there's another camp there, and that's Felicia and Mike. Okay. And then I have, yeah, but they're not real good people. They shoot up with needles and stuff. Okay.
Right.
And then if you come up from there, where my old camp is, up by the fence, there's an old man that camps out up there, and his name is Jim. Okay. And then when you go to the camp that's in question about all the child trafficking and I guess it's a cylinder covered all up in there. The first person that was there was Thomas. He lived inside that cylinder, cleaned it up, put all the stuff on top so people wouldn't see it. Well, hold on a minute. And he stayed there, and he is a transsexual and real nice person. He likes to dress up like a woman, makeup, wigs,
right.
and drag.
I think I saw a video of him stating that he was the one who actually made it.
Right, and then he's the one that he would get these little dolls, and then he would get scissors and stuff and design clothes and put them on them as like a mannequin,
right.
And then would turn around and make clothes to match it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's where the baby dolls and all that come in too.
So he would make doll clothes or clothes for people based on a doll
No, he would make the doll clothes for a pattern.
Right,
with
okay.
purses and stuff like that. And then he would make them for him to dress and drag.
Oh, I gotcha. I'm following.
Yeah. So he would take the mannequins, the little baby dolls, he called them his mannequins, and then he would come up with different designs and everything, and then he would go and dress up in drag. Yeah, he's got a daughter.
He wouldn't hurt no little kids.
And he wouldn't hurt no kids or anything.
He served too. He was in the military
and
too.
The straps and everything, if you looked at my old camp, the way I had the pallets up off the ground to put food on, well, that was the same way they were using over there to keep the food up off the ground. And then to run poles, you know, because they were going to add on to it and make a canopy and everything. But there was no children there. And then the next person that lived there was Mad Max, and he stayed there for a while. There was one other person that lived there. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Ray? You talking about when Ray was staying with Mad Max?
Yeah, I think his name was Ray, but he was in transit, and he has a son, and he was in transit. He'd stay, you know, down here, and then when it got too hot, take off.
Gotcha.
All right, and then, let's see, then you had Alan, and Alan's a homosexual and everything, and he lived in the camp that I was telling you about that they burnt. Well, he went back to that camp, and I think he told me he was going to put a tent back up over there.
He lives in Cope House.
But he Cope Mental Health Services over there off of Commonwealth. It's 1501 West Commerce Court. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
He goes there. Okay. Now, if you want everybody's name and all that and phone numbers where you can talk to them, where you can get the story straight, we have no problem in providing that because I done talked to everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to definitely talk with Thomas. I just want to put to bed this whole notion that the camp was used for for child trafficking and child rape, because I don't think that's what happened at all. And I think people are not taking the time to go talk to the actual people, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is, you know, I've got all the police reports. I spent the time with VOP. Let me ask you this: why do you think that VOP is doing this?
Well, my personal opinion is, and I think that it first probably started with Pioneer, and then CMAX wasn't even involved in it. And I think they got with them to, you know, find out who's all down there, where the camps are and stuff like this. And then it escalated into a fictitious fairy tale. Well, not really a fairy tale. I'd hate to write a book like that. No, it turned into being something to make the homeless people look like they were, you know, trafficking and involved in this, and they had a part of it and everything. And I think that Premier Rock, Corey up there, just wanted to know where everybody's camp was, where they could get them off their property. And then it went south on them. They wasn't expecting this dude to do what he was doing.
So you think it was
I don't think it
another. You think it was a landowner kind of keyed Arthur into some of the camp locations so he could kind of get him out of there, and then it snowballed from there?
That's exactly what I think happened. I think that they were tired of people being on the property, because the cement trucks and the 18-wheeler dump trucks would come down through the wash there. They would take a dozer, you know, and make it real nice so that the trucks could get back to that quarry where they could, you know, sell dirt and gravel or whatever they do, you know. And I think that's how it all got started. They wanted to know who was there so that they could call the police and have them escorted off the property so that the next time they'd get them with criminal trespass. If anybody should have got criminal trespass, it should have been Arthur.
Right. And I don't know if you saw, but he broke into a ranch last Saturday, and they're pressing charges on him against that.
Well, he also had some other charges on him also.
Yeah.
For doing some crazy, stupid things also. The man to represent vets really disappointed me, because I'm an ex-merchant Marine, you know, through the Coast Guard and everything, and I didn't like what he was saying, so I tried to post one. I don't know if it got posted or not. Oh, they said it did get posted, and, you know, I think that's what it all boiled down to, is to find out who was living on the property, where their camps were exactly located, and then this guy took one little piece of a rock and made a mountain out of a molehill out of nothing, you know, and then trying to make the homeless look bad. Like I said, the only homeless ones I know that are real bad would be Michael and Alicia, I mean, because they shoot up with needles. And they were living up there, right there where Bronco Towing used to have their yard, which is vacant. I told them they could probably park there for a little while. They had a van they were living in there.
Okay.
And then Alicia and Michael gave some friends of ours some bad dope, and right there across, right there, we had a friend living there named James, and they gave him some bad dope, and he shot it up, and he died. Ooh. Well, two other guys were with him, and they shot up, and they walked right where that cement thing is and everything, and died. One dropped dead, and then walked a little further, and one dropped dead, and then up the wash right there into town, couple of others got a hold of the same bad dope, and they died. And the police were down there on that and everything. And, I mean, and this guy to sit there and fabricate false information is real crazy. I've seen that rancher, okay? That,
he's really nice. He's giving me water.
The guy from the Blue Agave Ranch? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Water out there before him.
Yeah, and he doesn't deserve you know, for them to be going on his property and everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Down there to our camp and made sure we were okay when it got really, really hot one year.
And then, you know, like there's people that come up to the wash right there. If you go from where the tree is, where I had my camp, if you start walking down the side of the wash there and everything, like going back to town, there's a spot that you can come walk up out of the wash right there. And they drive four-wheelers and all kinds of vehicles through there and everything. And they ride horses, and they park up there and unload their horses. That's Manning and his buddies. And they're always real nice, too.
Okay.
Now, now Arthur has been through there before, okay?
So he's not. And, that was not the first time he'd been there, like he was claiming.
No, sir. That's why I wanted to correct that, because they come down there and everything, and I told them that I had served and $30
gift card, and we said to answer their questions. But now we don't do it.
Yeah, they want to come into the camp, and they was going to give me a $30 gift card and all that, and I didn't like the way they had no respect, you know, because before you go into somebody's camp, you say incoming, and then you wait for somebody to give you permission to come in or not. Well, they didn't have respect when I told them, no, man, stop where you're at. I don't want you coming into my camp. What are you? What's going on? And they weren't real, what I would call, you know, it'd be like me going up to your house and everything and just walking right in through the front door, you know?
Well, I
told them.
I live so far up in the mountains, we have something similar that usually when you're walking up to someone's cabin or something, you say, hey, hello, the cabin, to let them know you're there. Yeah. Otherwise, you're liable to get shot.
Right, exactly. With down here in the homeless that live in that wash and around there. Like I said, I know everybody, and give me a little time to wake up. I stayed up real late last night. Give me time to wake up, and I'll text you everybody's phone numbers and names.
Sure. The person I'd really like to talk to is just Thomas more than anything, to talk about, you know, why the site was created and why the dolls were there, because that kind of clears everything up.
Right. I can understand that. Well, this author dude, Lewis, both TV stations aired something about it. Mm-hmm. And then what was the guy with the newspaper here in town's name?
Tim Stiles.
Tim Stiles?
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
He's really nice. Yeah, and he had a good long conversation with me, you know, and I supplied him with phone numbers.
Okay.
So that way you'll know that. Okay, then I'll tell you what, when I hang up here, we'll call Thomas and I'll tell him what's going on and I'll give him your number, okay?
That sounds great.
And if you don't hear from him sometime today, call me back and then I'll get back with Thomas and tell him, hey, you need to do this for me, okay?
All right.
And like I said, you know, I think I'm about between Dan, Terry, and PJ that lives up by the college in the wash. Myself and old man Jim, I think we're probably the only group of people that the police don't have problems with. They've been in our camps and they're always clean and you know, no garbage all over the place. So they don't bother us and they let us stay there because then we're not in town and we're kind of like out of sight and you know, and they like that.
Now, Thomas, was it you or Thomas that was building that second location? Second camp there where they said they were digging, or was that not? What's the deal with that?
All right, second camp. All right. Where the cylinder was, that camp. You're not talking about that one, right?
Well, from what I've heard, there was someone that was working on making a second cylinder.
Yeah, that was it might have been Mad Max.
Okay.
I was trying to think. It's one of the two, probably.
Okay. Now, one of the things that they were saying as their evidence, Lewis Arthur, was that there were two journals, kind of. They were just notebooks, and they were talking. They had some drawings that looked like similar underground, like taking a water container and burying it like we had there. And he was talking about starting churches and jewelry stores and whatnot. Was that your journals, or was that someone else's?
I'd be Mad Max.
Mad
That'd
Max.
probably be Mad Max. Yeah.
Okay.
If I was going to say anything, I'd say Mad Max.
All right.
But all these people, like I said, they, excuse me, they were, what it all involved was they wanted to clear that area of all the camps. And that's how Arthur got involved with it, okay?
Right.
And then it escalated from him. I swear he's either on some kind of drugs or medicine or got a very, very weird, warped sense of humor or and I don't know. He may be schizophrenic. I don't know. This dude's crazy.
Yeah. No, there's definitely allegations. I mean, I got it straight from his camp people that when their people come in, they got new veterans are bringing in that have drugs. They take the drugs from them, but they don't destroy them or turn them over to the police. They hold on to them. And there are allegations of him using the drugs with women, and yeah, just not necessarily a good scene.
Well, like my lawyer lady told me, she said that it's in a shady, dark gray area of what's going on with all that, and that his credibility has already been shot to hell anyway. You know what I mean? He just, I don't know why. If he keeps going the way he's going, he's going to get arrested again and again and again. You can't just go ahead and just do like what this guy's doing without some kind of repercussions. You can't just go out and fabricate stuff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they're going to get upset because then they're wasting the resources of the ambulances, the police, the rescue, the sheriff's department, Tucson police, FBI, investigators, forensic science. It all adds up to a lot of money. And they're going to get mad at him sooner or later for it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.